What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is not Tuesday, sorry. It's Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. Get my days mixed up here. It's a beautiful day out here. Just being able to record. I'm actually on mobile, so I'm not in my apartment or place or studio, but I'm actually out and about. But I'm going to be talking to a special guest today. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Chris Drummond. I am somebody who is a sports reporter, somebody who is a casino host, and I love talking to different people from different avenues, different backgrounds, and getting to know their why of why they do what they do when they do what they do. So, my special guest today, her name is Taylor Kitchen. She is someone who has been a contributor to the Podium Finish. She's someone who is a content creator and producer of Above the Yellow Line, which was created by a fan for fans of NASCAR content. She's somebody who's a communication manager now for Team Hornaday. So we would definitely get into her why and what she does. She works in sports. I work in sports as a sport journalist. So definitely wanted to connect with her and talk with her a little bit. So without any further ado, I bring to you the wonderful, talented Taylor Kitchen. Hey, Taylor, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Just want to say you look absolutely wonderful today. Just want to start off by
Thank you so much.
you're very, very welcome. And I want to say thank you for coming on to my podcast. I really do appreciate it. Work hard, play harder. I want to ask you how your week's going so far.
So far, so good. A little busy, chaotic. There's never a normal week. So just you roll with the punches and you go forward. So
This is very, very true. No question about that. Dealing with sports and being in sports, you never know when things are going to happen for sure. I want to backtrack a little bit and reiterate why I wanted to talk to you on my platform before I start peppering you with a lot of questions. I see that you're doing a lot of things in NASCAR. Obviously, Above the Yellow Line. We will get into that, which was something that was created by a fan for fans of NASCAR content, as you say in your welcomes. Your welcome to opening of Above the Yellow Line. But I also know you're a communications manager for Team Hornaday. I just saw that you got that job as well. Congratulations on that.
thank you.
I know you've been a contributor at the Podium Finish. I know you went to Bowling Green State University, which I believe you just graduated in 2023. So congratulations on that. We will get to that for sure. So I wanted to talk to you because you're in sports. I'm a sport journalist covering sports. So I love talking to anybody and everybody who is likewise in the kind of the same. You still with me?
I am here. Yes. There we
Okay.
go.
Oh, we froze. We froze for a moment.
Oh
Okay.
no.
No, that's good. That's fine. Did you hear anything I said?
I heard the last place we left off on was Bowling Green State University.
Got you. So I was saying I'm very thankful that you accepted my invitation of being on the podcast. And I really would love to get to know you and your story and your why behind that.
Of course.
All right. Well, without any further ado, let's get into it. So the first question I have for all my guests that I normally have on my podcast is your why. What is the why that you became a content creator specifically for racing and NASCAR? Who inspired you to want to do that, or did you have any role models growing up?
Yeah, so I've always been a storyteller, whether I've been a theater kid, creative writer, whatever it is, I've always loved to tell stories. And the NASCAR piece of it came from my grandma. Ever since I was born, she was a big NASCAR fan, loved Dale Earnhardt Jr. And I never cared to watch. I thought it was really boring, quite honestly, and I just didn't care. And so in 2016, years down the road, I sat down and watched my first race with her, first full race. I've seen bits and pieces, and I was like, okay, this actually isn't as boring as I thought. There's strategy involved. There's like statistics. It was really neat, and it was something totally different than your stick and ball sports, which I'd played for so many years.
Sure.
So I went to my first race in 2017 in person, and I just got hooked right off the bat. Like I was like fan for life, super cool. Just the sights, the sounds, the smells, just the atmosphere in general was just so unique, and
Mhm.
I just fell in love with it. And from there, I wanted to get involved in a bigger way. And I just didn't know where I fit in. I started in college as a film major. I bounced around in different storytelling avenues. And then I was like, oh, duh. Like I'm on Twitter all the time talking about NASCAR. I'm networking. I wanted to start a show by fans for fans for so many different reasons. And I was like, motorsports journalism, that's it. And since I kind of found that avenue, I really wanted to kind of pave a way for content creators in journalism. It would also pave a way for those who just want to talk about what they're passionate about in the sport. So all encompassing, that's my why. It started off with my grandma and just watching a race, and here we are today.
I love it. Shout out to Taylor's grandmother. That's awesome. I love that. You said you played stick and ball sports. What sports did you play growing up?
Yeah, growing up, I did soccer, tennis. I fenced for a few years. I did competitive dance. I did gymnastics for a little bit, basketball because I'm really tall. So I did a little bit of everything, and over the years I tried different things. Nothing stuck. I didn't want to go to college to be like an athlete or anything. I was a band kid, and I transitioned from sports to the arts pretty quickly. But yeah, so kind of just did a little bit of everything.
That's so amazing that you said that because I know for me, and a question will come up later that I have. If I wasn't a journalist, I probably would be in the arts myself because I love theater. I love plays, musicals especially.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely love musicals. Do you have a favorite musical?
Oh, that's difficult. So I have a special place in my heart for Little Women, the musical. I was in it and I played Beth, and like that was the most incredible theater experience I'd ever had. So that one sticks out. Hamilton's an obvious one too. I mean, come on, you gotta love Hamilton. So,
Yes, Hamilton is up there. For me, it would be Les Miserables because I played in that one in high school too.
oh, lovely.
Yeah, so I love that one and Annie for sure.
I directed Annie in high school, so we have that connection
Oh,
there.
that is awesome. Yes, yes, absolutely. I love me some Annie. Love. It's hard to choose one, right? It's
Oh
hard
yeah.
to choose musical, but Annie and then Hairspray. Hairspray is
Oh
probably one of
yes.
the ones that I can definitely sing the songs to for sure. So I like that. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. You chose Bowling Green State University to go to get your undergrad. Were there any other schools that could have persuaded you to from going to Bowling Green State University? You know, I believe Ohio State is pretty close to you as well, as Bowling Green is.
Yeah. So funny enough, Bowling Green was my absolute last choice to start off with. I did not like the school. I visited about 3 times, and every time I was like, I don't know. I mean, I was looking at a school in Chicago. I was looking at Baldwin Wallace. And I was just like, I don't know about Bowling Green. And it wasn't until I did a theater camp there where I was like, this is my home. Like, I love this. I love the atmosphere, the staff. And there was no other choice after that, fourth visit where I was like, Bowling Green is where I want to be, regardless. So I originally auditioned to be in their theater program. And during that audition, I was like, I don't want to audition for the rest of my life. I don't want to do that. And then that led me to the film production avenue, and then we changed careers, changed majors, and ended up where we are today. But yeah, Bowling Green, it is an incredible school, just very supportive, and you really do feel like you are part of a family when you're there. It's awesome.
That's pretty cool. No doubt. I'm glad you was looking at Chicago because Chicago has some great schools as well. No
Oh
question
yes.
about that. But yeah, Bowling Green State University. I think you're the first person that I've had on this platform that's went to Bowling Green. So shout out to them for
Yeah, go
sure.
Falcons.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I want to ask you some favorite things, Taylor. Okay, and I'm just gonna go and ask these questions right off the rip, and you give me the 411 of what it is. Okay,
Okay,
are
sounds
you
good.
ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Chicken and rice bowls, like a Greek chicken and rice bowl.
Okay, okay. We definitely gonna be good friends, Taylor, because chicken and rice is pretty good. I like that. That's what's up. We're off to a great start. Here we go. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh my. I think Taylor Swift, her Red concert. That was so good.
Wow. Yes. I like her 1989 album. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorites of hers for sure. But Yeah, Red was good. You know, I'm not a Swiftie, but I do appreciate great music. And she does that for sure.
That's fair.
Okay, Taylor Swift. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Ooh, probably the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's just beautiful there.
Hmm, Blue Ridge Mountains. Okay, I like that. All right. I like how decisive you're being, by the way. This is pretty good. This is a two-part question now.
Okay.
Favorite you like to watch on TV, and favorite sport you like to attend in person?
Oh goodness. I think uh, NASCAR for both, but hockey. So I'm not totally into hockey, but whenever I go to a hockey event, whether it's Bowling Greens or anywhere else, it is such a fun time to just be there. It's one of those sports that it's not, I don't feel like it's as fun to watch like on TV, but when you are there, you are part of the party and it is so much fun. So ultimately it's NASCAR, but hockey, I would say, is a close first for going in person.
Okay. Now, are you one of those quiet type of fans, or are you one of those yellers and screamers?
Oh, I yell at events. If I'm there as a fan,
Mhm.
I will yell. I get involved.
That is my girl. I love that. That's what's up. Yes, get involved and cheer on your damn team. I love that. That's
Yes.
awesome. That's awesome. Okay, last of the favorites. Favorite restaurant that you like to eat at?
Oh no. So I'm a foodie. I love food. That's so difficult.
Mm,
I don't even know. I guess any type of Mediterranean food restaurant. There's a restaurant in like Westerville, Ohio called Cobley, and it is so good. That's the first one that's coming to my mind right now. But if you gave me like 20 minutes to just think it out, I could give you a list of like 50 restaurants that I just love to go to. But that's part of what I love to do when I'm not working is I like to travel to different coffee shops and things like that just to like kind of explore. But yeah, that's a tough question.
it is. It is. And you know what? I'm getting all different kind of restaurants. I love to travel, number one.
Mhm.
So I do. I have never been to the state of Ohio.
Oh,
Um, yes, and I really want to go to either Ohio State game because I'm a huge college football fan. But Columbus, I heard, is beautiful, and then I've heard things about Cincinnati and Cleveland and Akron, and just it's so hard because all the cities I've heard so many good things. I don't know which one to choose. So that's what I'm saying. So yes, but I appreciate that. You said that restaurant is what's his name again?
it's called Cobley. It's a small little joint in Westerville, Ohio, that it's just like a Mediterranean food. It's pretty good.
Hmm. And Westerville. Now, where's Westerville at? Or located next to like a big city? What's the nearest big city?
It is right close to Columbus. It's about like 15 minutes away.
Oh, okay. So that's not bad. That's exactly where Ohio State is, Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Now what I want to talk about is your day to day, right? You wear many different hats right now, and you do a lot of different things, and that's awesome. I want you to tell me what is a typical day for Taylor Kitchen when you get up in the morning. What are you doing as far as your occupation goes? And when do you shut it down for the day and just say, okay, I'm done?
That's a great question. So, with my jobs, all of my roles, whether it's the content creator, the journalist, PR, communications, marketing, whatever it is,
Mhm.
there's never really a set time to do things. I'm more nocturnal. I feel like I'm most productive in my work during the evening hours. So, my clock right now is like I'll go to bed around like 2 in the morning and I'll wake up at like 9. And that's just my schedule. But, wake up, eat some good breakfast, check the emails, make sure I'm in contact with my drivers, my managers, my bosses, just to make sure we kind of have a slate of what I need to get done that day. Then it
Well,
really turns into, if I have all things done on that front, if I've reached out to contacts I need to market to, if I've, done press releases I need to do, social media posts I need to do for my drivers. For my brain, what do I need to do for myself? I have a weekly schedule. After the races, every Monday I do race recaps. So that takes maybe 4 to 5 hours to kind of edit out, write out, depending on how in depth I want to be with a race recap. And I marker for that. Tuesday is more focused on like my drivers, the marketing side of things. Wednesday, we're gearing up for our live streams. Thursday nights, we do a live stream for Above the Yellow Line where we bring in guests within the industry and we talk to them. So there's a lot of research that goes into that, a lot of promotions and planning. And then, of course, Friday, right after that, we're going into the race weekend. So you're preparing for that, making content. If news pops up during the week, you got to make sure you have time set aside so you can make a video, write an article, etc. So There is really no normal day to day. It really is, what comes up and when, but because news is 24/7, it does not stop. You're constantly on. It's so hard to just kind of flip the switch, turn it off, and just have time for yourself.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm working on. I feel like any journalist too, it's really difficult to kind of shut that off.
It
Whether
is.
you report in with criminal justice, whether you're a political reporter, whatever it is, it's so hard to turn it off because news is always happening. But yeah, day to day is just wild and wacky for sure.
I totally understand that. Now, how does it differentiate from the off season? Because obviously, when NASCAR goes to its off season, there's no races going on. So, how does it differentiate?
The off season, I know I might get a lot of just hate for this, but I really do enjoy the off season because it gives me time to kind of decompress a little bit. Not a whole lot of time because I'm able to focus a lot more time into like my clients and that work. Um, but yeah, the off season when there's no races, I'm really just focused on the marketing efforts of my drivers, um, and focused more on just my brand and building up for the next year. There we
The-
go.
Okay, what I don't know what happened, but you looked up to the sky and then all of a sudden you disappeared. I was
Oh
like,
goodness.
okay, go ahead and once again reiterate your answer of what you said to prior question.
Yes. So the off season, how that works is it gives me some time to decompress. A lot of people don't like the off season because there's no racing. I'm going to be in the minority of this answer and just say I kind of like it. It gives me time to just kind of step back a little bit, but I'm also still constantly working in the sport during the off season. So I spend a lot of that time marketing for my drivers, making sure that they have their partners for this year, the 2024 season. It gives me time to kind of reboot my brand, expand a little bit if I had projects I wanted to work on, research videos I wanted to do based off of like NASCAR history or things like that. It gives me the time to really focus on those creative projects because during the season, it is mostly news, mostly recap, mostly I guess day to day focus. During the off season, you don't necessarily have that time, that schedule in mind. So off seasons is a little bit more loose, and it gives you more time to be creative.
No question. I want to ask this next question. That's a great answer, by the way, Taylor. I want to ask the next question about mental health. Right. As journalists, as people with any jobs, really, mental health is starting to become a lot more prevalent in our industry, in our world. Right. People are starting to have like breakdowns. Sometimes people have burnout. A lot of times when you're a journalist, the words that you hear is overworked and underpaid. In a lot in our industry. How do you deal with your mental health, keeping it solid, keeping it good, and not having those moments of burnout?
Yeah, I think in NASCAR, it's so easy to have that burnout because it is 38 straight weekends of racing of the year,
Right.
and there is no break. And that's why I love the off season so much because it gives me a chance to do the things I love and do the things I enjoy that I otherwise might not be able to do during the season, especially like spending time with family. My weekends, for most of us that work in sports, it is, devoted to sport. But how I take care of my mental health is I really do just try to take it day to day. I try to I guess, section out my tasks that I have each day. I don't like to look at something that's a full picture because that can be overwhelming. I like to break things down into simple tasks and lists, but also, speaking to somebody that can help. My whole journey, I have a chronic illness and I've always dealt with anxiety and depression, and that's part of who I am.
Mm.
And I've been in therapy since I was 9 to deal with my extreme anxiety disorder and learning to talk through that, learning ways to cope, and just learning that it's okay to not be okay is so
Right.
helpful, and also knowing your limits. And I think as I've gotten older, And now that I've had, graduated from college, I've really had time to step back and kind of reflect and say, what are my limits? When am I not feeling okay? How do I cope with that? Is there a better way to cope? So it really is just learning to manage, but being okay and open enough to learn how to manage. Not pushing your problems away, but learning how to manage it.
I appreciate your openness.
Mhm.
I really do. Once again, talking to Taylor Kitchens on my on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Mental health is very is something that's very important to me as well. As a journalist, I like to work out. I like to write poetry. I like to step away. I also like to have conversations that's not about sport.
Mhm.
I love to be able to just come home. Although I live by myself, I'll call a friend or I'll call family that's wherever they are, and we'll just talk about life. Talk about something that's not had to do with sports because you see sports every day. Like you said, it's 38 straight weekends of NASCAR. I'm sure there's a couple weekends you can be like, I'm cool with going without NASCAR for a couple of weekends. I'm sure, right?
Mhm.
So it's a question that's pretty important. I definitely ask all my guests on here that question, and it's a great segue too to this next question, which we've come to the part of the show where it's this or that. And the reason why it's a great segue is it's nice to talk about mental health, but it's also nice to get back to doing something a little bit fun, right? So this is going to be a little bit fun. It's called this or that, where I throw two things at you, and you just name one or the other. Okay? Are you with me, Taylor?
I got you. I'm good.
Okay, here we go. This is the NASCAR edition of this or that.
Oh,
I made a special one for you. So,
oh, thank you.
no problem, no problem. Special person, special one. So that's what it is. So here we go. Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, you started off so difficult. Dale Earnhardt Jr., you said?
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Okay, awesome. Here we go. We got Kevin Harvick or Tony Stewart.
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick. Okay, I like it. I like it so far. Do you eat chicken? As far as chicken wings, do you eat that?
One of my favorite foods. Yes.
Okay. So the reason why I asked this question is because I want to know which chicken wing flavor would you rather have on the chicken wing? Lemon pepper or barbecue?
Ooh, gotta go with barbecue.
Mm. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Gotta have the sauce. Has to have the
Okay.
sauce.
Okay, so you like it wet. And do you like bone in or boneless?
I'm gonna get so much heat for this, but boneless. They're basically chicken nuggets, but I like the crunch of the wing that way. So boneless.
Hey, you will get no heat from me, my friend, because I do like boneless wings myself. I do. I eat wings with a fork. I don't know if you do. But that's
Hey,
okay.
I do too. I do too. We're on the same page.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay. These next three this or that have to do with music. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So, which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Beyonce or would you rather go see Taylor Swift?
So I love Taylor Swift's old music. I'm so nostalgic for it, and because of her Eras tour, she's bringing it back. I gotta go with Taylor Swift in this case.
Okay. That seemed like a tough decision for you right there because you seem like you like Beyonce, huh?
Oh, I love Beyonce. I love her. So it's tough.
Okay. Here we go. Next question is which artist would you rather see? Would you rather see Carrie Underwood or Casey Musgraves?
Oh no, this is so difficult. I think right now I'm a little bit more of a fan of Casey Musgrave, so I'm gonna have to go with her right now. If you asked me like 5 years ago, Carrie Underwood all the way, but I'm on the
Sure,
Casey train
sure.
right now.
Okay. I'm glad. I thought about these questions. So this must be some pretty good questions. Okay, here
They're
we
good.
go. Next one for the music one. Okay. Now, which one would you rather see? Would you rather see Luke Combs or Morgan Wallen?
Oh, you Chris, so many good questions. I gotta go with Luke Combs. He's very soulful in his music. Now I do love Morgan Wallen's music, but Luke
Mhm.
Combs, he's just the guy. He's the guy. Love him.
Absolutely, and definitely rest in peace, Toby Keith. I know you probably heard the
Yes.
news about him. No question about that. I heard the news yesterday as well, and Toby Keith was a good one too. No question
Mhm.
about it. The next this or that has to do with sport. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling. I was actually a varsity bowler in high school, so
Oh, so you can play.
Oh, not that well. Not that well, but I can play.
Okay, all right. Now, as long as you don't need the bumpers. Do you need the bumpers?
No, 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 no. We're past that.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm with that. All right. Doing pretty good on this or that. We got two more. Okay.
Okay.
Two more this or that. Back to the racing. Which NASCAR driver would you rather have right now? All right. You had one race to win. Which one would you choose? Joey Logano or Kurt Busch?
So if Kurt was able to race again, um,
Yes.
I would say Kurt because every time he wins, it's just everyone feels really good about his wins. So I gotta say Kurt.
Okay. Okay. And I lied. I got two more this or that.
Good.
This next one is the last one is this last one is going to be about racing, and the next one's going to be about dessert. Okay. Racing. I want you to tell me which one of these events would you choose to do, and you only could choose one of them, right? If there was a track that you could drive in, like put yourself in a car and you drive in, okay?
Mhm.
Here we go. A is the Brickyard 400.
Yeah.
B is the Daytona 500. Okay. C is the Indianapolis 500. Okay. And D, the last one is going to be the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Which
Ooh.
one would you which track would you want to drive at?
I gotta say, probably the Brickyard 400. Daytona just seems a little too like it's awesome. I love Daytona, but you're gonna get in a wreck. It's almost a guarantee. I'd rather be in a race where you have like a crown jewel. There's prestige to it. And the Brickyard, I mean, Indianapolis Motor Speedway is just a classic, beautiful track. So I got to go with the Brickyard 400.
Okay. Then I would have picked the same one because that's my favorite one, for sure. We are in sync, girl. I love it. The last one is desserts. All right. Now you got to pick a dessert that you can never eat again. Okay. Here we go. A is cookies. B is cakes. So that's any kind of cake, cupcake, bundt cake, whatever. C is ice cream. Okay. D is honey bun.
Okay. I think I gotta go like never eat again. I would have to say honey buns. I'm gonna go with
Mm,
that.
you was reluctant with that though. That was pretty tough for you to say.
It was between that one and cake. Honestly, I'm not a huge cake fan, but if it's any and all types of cakes, because I love myself a good lemon pound cake, like that's good. So
Mm-hmm.
had to go with
Mm-hmm.
honey buns.
Okay. You did pretty good on this or that. Although there were difficult questions for you, you did pretty good.
Thank you.
Um, Speaking of memories, like as racing, we talked about Brickyard being your favorite. What is name two of your favorite drivers, right? Outside of what Dale Earnhardt Jr., but name two other drivers that you really admire and like and why.
Ryan Blaney is one. He just won the championship in 2023. And ever since I started watching the sport, he was one of my favorite drivers. Apart from his drive and his talent in the car, outside of the car, he's always a great interview. He's always so good with his fans. He has his own, the Ryan Blaney Foundation that helps bring awareness to like Alzheimer's disease. And I mean, he's just all around a really good guy. So Ryan Blaney for sure. The other one I would probably have to say, oh, I have so many favorite drivers, but probably Brad Keselowski. He's one of the veterans in the sport right now, and
Hmm.
just the way that he carries himself, and he's reinvented RFK, the team that he joined about 2 years ago at this point. Just kind of brought in, reinvigorated that organization, and I think just his leadership, his talent as well, but also again a great interview. Really does take the time to, um, just answer questions to the fullest. So I would say Brad Keselowski.
Oh, are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. Oh, I missed all of what you said.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you said Brad Keselowski, but after that, blur. That
yeah.
was it.
So yeah,
Uh,
I would say Brad Keselowski just because I like how he carries himself and he's reinvigorated his organization at RFK, and that's now a winning organization, and just the way he also just deals with the media. He's so respectful, answers questions thoughtfully and fully, and also just seems to be like a really great guy. So I'd have to say Brad as well.
I like that. I really do. If Taylor wasn't involved in NASCAR or content creating, what career would she have pursued and why?
Ooh, that's tough. because that's all I've really done. But I would say if I wasn't involved in NASCAR content creating, I am sure I might be a chef, quite honest with you. I love to cook. I've found a love for it.
My
So
goodness.
whether it's baking, cooking, I would say like maybe like a PR somewhere else, but like I love cooking. It's so fun.
You have definitely won a new friend over here. There's no question about it. Because I definitely love meeting people that cook, because I definitely love to eat. So there's no question about that. I mean, I do cook myself. Don't get me wrong, because
Oh yeah,
I have to. Otherwise, I wouldn't eat. Wouldn't be able to eat. But I love meeting other people that love to cook too, because I love trying their dishes and recipes and whatever they make. Because sometimes they make some interesting stuff. So who knows? I
absolutely.
like. Okay. Advice. What advice would you give someone that wants to be a content creator, that wants to get into the NASCAR? There's not a lot of women in NASCAR, right? There's Jamie Little, there's Shannon Spake, there's a Heather Anderson, if I'm not mistaken. There's only a few women. I mean, everybody know who Jamie Little is. She's one of the
Mhm.
best to ever do
Absolutely.
it. What advice would you give someone, especially if a woman that wants to be in NASCAR, and what is some advice that someone gave you that you held on to?
I think advice that I've been given um, is just don't wait and do. And that's something that I preach all the time is, when I was really sick a few years ago, I was bedridden for about a year and a half, and I had a lot of time to just sit and wait and just try to figure out my life. And, during that time, I was like, I just want to be able to do something. I want to be healthy enough to do something. And now that I am, my self motto to myself is if you want something, go after it because you can do it. You just have to believe hard enough. You got to work hard enough. And that's what I would say. And then to any woman who wants to get into motorsports, don't be afraid. You're just as good as any other man in the sport. You're just as good as anyone else in the sport. If you believe in yourself and you carry yourself with confidence, you're going to go far. Motorsports is a small world. It's a family. Everyone's connected. So make those connections, network, but just truly put yourself out there and don't be afraid. That's the advice I have.
Mm, that's some powerful stuff. I like that. I really do. What is two people, all right? What is two people that you think will be able to come on and talk to me on this podcast here and tell me a little bit about their story? Two other people that you know.
One of my drivers I work with, he's also a really good friend of mine, Howie DiSavino. He is a driver in the NASCAR Xfinity Series part-time, but his story is incredible. Just it's a lot of overcoming adversity, perseverance. His mother unfortunately passed away from cancer a few years ago, and
Wow.
it kind of changed his whole world. But through that, he has been nothing but determined, nothing but positive. So Howie would be a really good person to talk to. Um, Someone else as well. Maybe
Sure.
I'm trying to think. I mean, quite honestly, like if you could talk to like a Jamie Little, Caitlin Vincey, or one of the other women in sports just to help share their stories. Caitlin Vincey's story is awesome, how she's gotten into the sport and kind of almost a similar path that I've been on, but she's been so successful in her career. She also writes books too, so something outside of reporting. So another person that would be pretty interesting to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Jamie on here before for sure. That definitely know her. She's Indianapolis made, homegrown. That's just who she is, and she's awesome. Caitlin, I definitely would love to talk to her, and I would love to talk to Howie too. You definitely have to help me get them two on here for sure, because I'm sure they both have incredible stories. I would also love to know about how you got connected with Team Hornaday, and what you do. Like, how many drivers do you have? How did you get connected with them? Because to be their communication manager.
So I got connected to Team Hornady Development through my work at AT Racing Development, where I work with Howie. So through that, they kind of, I don't want to say merged, but partnered together. And the Hornadays brought me on to work as their communications manager, marketing, PR, everything like that. So right now I help manage, I think in total like 6 drivers right now, including Howie. So it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of managing schedules, but it's been really cool, and I've learned so much as well. But got connected through that, and here we are working with Ron Hornaday, 4-time Truck Series champion, and him. His daughter Candace has been a great mentor, as well as Austin Terrio, who also helps mentor me as well.
Did you ever have aspirations of getting behind the wheel?
No, like some like one-off things, sure. Like, I go-karting seems pretty fun. Like, but I just know for my physical health, like I could
Right.
never do what they do. It's such a misconception that NASCAR drivers or race car drivers aren't athletes, but if you think that, you are totally wrong. There's so much training that goes into it. And also that mentality, like you have to have so much mental stamina to be able to go around in laps, whether it's on a road course turning right and left, or whether it's an oval track where you're just making left turns. There is so much that goes into driving these cars that people don't realize. And I just know for me right now, if I were able to have like a one lap experience, sure, awesome, but I could never do what they do.
I love it. No, and I'm glad you said that because a lot of people don't realize the behind the scenes stuff and what it takes to prepare to do a race like that. You going 400 or 500 laps to be
Mhm.
able to do that, and you're competing against a, a plethora of drivers that's driving around a track that's trying to win a race. It's a lot, but it's also a lot what you do, right? Trying to navigate schedules, trying to write this, trying to write that, keep up with the news, produce people, especially out of college, and I know you're just out of college, but people that want to get into the journalism business sometimes just see the glam and see the person in front of the camera, see the person on YouTube and think it's glamorous. And everything's not glamorous about the journalistic life. You really got to love what you do in order to do it for sure.
Mhm.
I love the fact that you came on here and told me a little bit about your story. I got to know you a little bit, which is good. I'm a new fan of yours, and I definitely will be keeping in touch, as I always do. To conclude my podcast, I asked this question: is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude?
Nothing really, but if you want to watch more of my content, get into NASCAR a little bit. My platform is for fans young and old, new, just getting started, or have been around for forever. So just, look up Above the Yellow Line. AboveTheYellowLine.com is where you can find me and more content.
Absolutely. And once again, Howie and Caitlin, I would love to talk to them. You can help me out. That'd be absolutely amazing to do that. And I will be following your content on above the yellow line and any content that you else that you put out. But I appreciate you, Taylor Kitchen, for coming on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. You take care and enjoy your day.
Right. Thanks, you too.